Good morning for the third time for those of you that actually have been joining the lives today. Uh, what an amazing morning. What an amazing day. I like making all my days that way, but today I did a video first thing sharing our winter wonderland of ice-covered trees and brush. It's just amazing to see all the ice, but we also had four eagles showing themselves down in front of the house here and making noise. It's just absolutely amazing. And then I did our day video for the our build and was sharing a simple pleasure to me in the back of the containers where I was feeding the cats this morning, where again it's just ice covered, beautiful, snow covered. And as I'm walking through and sharing this with everybody, I look down and there's a heart on the ground in the snow. So it's like God is good, and we've got to see these many blessings that we are gifted every day. And so often we're caught up in our struggles and in our strife, and we miss that stuff. And don't get me wrong, my life is not always a bed of roses. We struggle too, just like everybody else. And I make it a special point during those days when I'm struggling to seek God and to seek my simple pleasures. We need to do that. We need to learn to do that. And I want to teach you how. But I see you guys joining me again. Toika says, I love the Eagles. And Tammy says, howdy, long time no see. Right, exactly. And I want to talk today, like I've always said, this community, hey, Chad, this community is not just about us. This is God providing us with a platform that enables us to have a community of believers getting together. So, I don't want it to be all about us all the time. I mean, we are sharing our life, but today I want to know, how are you? And what are some of the things that you most struggle with? Because it helps me to know, for one, how to lead. It also enables us in this community to pray for one another and to see oftentimes that we're not alone. I mean, like I just shared, my life isn't always a bed of roses either. We struggle too, and that's just part of life. We live in a fallen world, and the enemy is going to just dig his claws in. And as a matter of fact, this week I have been under some heavy attack, and I kind of anticipated that or expected it, and I'm not surprised by it. With me doing the Bible study and the way I share my faith with you all, he's gonna rip me apart and do his best. And he can keep trying, and I keep sending him packing. But it's when you learn to discern what is transpiring in your life, in your day, in your moments, that it's the enemy. We have such great power over him, and we need to learn to use it. And that's something that took me 46 years to do, and I want to share it with you so that you can do that much sooner in your life. Because when you learn that the enemy is trying to dig his claws in, you have so much better footing and a stronger foundation and the ability to not only bounce back from your struggles, but actually to conquer them right there when things start to transpire. So I wanted to touch on that, and I'm really excited. My Bible study that I've been talking about is finally live. I spent the last 4 days really jamming on it and really getting things in place. And yesterday I fine-tuned and tested things, and I'm really excited to be able to do a live online Bible study in Zoom, where it's not just me sharing, it's all of us sharing. And it's also a private, right now we are on YouTube, and the trolls set in after I'm done. We have been very blessed that they don't set in while I'm live. But it gives us a platform that is totally private, and that we have the ability to share very in-depth, if we want to, with each other, and to be able to learn with each other, grow with each other, inspire and encourage each other, and to make new friends. And I'm really excited about it. So if you're interested in joining us, go to trayerwilderness.com/Bible Study Book Club. I think I put the link down below. I hope I did. And you can join there. If you are in a financial quandary, we know what that's like. It costs me money to do what we do online, and the Bible study does cost money. It's $7 for the first month as a trial offer, and then it goes up to $14.99 a month. And if you are in a financial quandary, please reach out to me at survive@trayerwilderness.com and let me know, because we do have some scholarships available for the course, because I want people to be able to do this. If I didn't have to charge, I wouldn't, but it costs me money to be able to use these platforms and to create these things. And I look at it this way. If we were all going out to a local Bible study, we'd have fuel money. Most of us would stop for a coffee. And this way you can join me in your PJs and you won't be judged. I might be in my own. So I hope you guys will be able to join me. I really look forward to seeing a lot of faces on the Zoom gallery screen when we are live, so that we can share. I've been a part of such a, not a Bible study, but a book club. And I was just enamored at the quality of people that were on there, and just how encouraging and how powerful it was. So I look forward to this opportunity with you guys, and I look forward to growing with you guys in this situation, because we're starting out with the book Fervent, so that we can hammer right off the bat, learning to be powerful prayers, and stepping our prayer life up a notch, as well as our relationship with God, because that is the foundation and the basis to a relationship with Christ. The next thing is we're going to walk through varied books that talk about spiritual warfare, forgiveness, love languages, all kinds of things. I've got such a huge list, and I haven't actually decided what book number 2 is going to be yet. I think it's one of 3, but it'll be a surprise. So anyway, I hope you guys will be able to join. And so share with me. First of all, how are you? I'm doing good. We are getting things in place. We are enjoying our cozy house. We are meat rich, which is tremendous. Being able to have that meat, it's hanging outside, it is frozen, but we need to process all of that, and it's really funny. We said last night, what in the world are we going to do when it comes time to thaw and butcher? Because before we used to bring the quarters in and put them in the bathtub into the warm house. Well, we don't have a bathtub in the house. We don't have anything to put them in the house. So we are going to need to build our bathhouse before we can butcher our meat. So that's on the game plan anyway, and it's an 8x8 structure, so it should go up pretty quickly. It's only 1 story. But we have other things we got to get in place first, specifically the power, so that we don't lose any of our batteries or our battery banks. I have to show you this. I am actually utilizing the sun in my living room right now. I've got my solar charger hanging in the window charging my battery box. As I was saying earlier today, oh, and there is my clock that I finished. It now, my finger's screwing up the thing, and I believe the mountain, yep, there he is, the man himself. You're on. Chad's on here.
Hey, brother.
So we've been busy doing all kinds of things. I'm excited about the clock. This is kind of funny. It was a gift to me, and I had a clock falling apart. But what's funny is there's no numbers on the clock, and the mountain man's like, you're going to have to do something about that. Are you going to paint them on or something? And I'm like, well, why do we need actual numbers? We know approximately what minute of the day it is, and in our life, how often does that minute actually matter? For most of the time, we don't even know what day it is, so it's just kind of funny. But Toika says smart, using the sun in the window. Yes, it's not as good though. The window actually does buffer it. So I'm getting a jaded form of the sun. I could hang it outside, but the thing is it's so cold that cold actually messes with the battery pack, and I don't want it to die. I need my battery packs. Oh, I will tell him you said so, Chad. Chad says, hey, brother, congrats on the meet. Great job. Yeah, I'm very proud of him. That was awesome. That was so awesome. And really, sorry, really helps us a lot. Good morning, Herbert. Remind me again where you're joining me from. I forget. But I'm glad to have you joining. That's awesome. The question of today is, how are you? And what are some of the things that you struggle with? I really want to know. I don't really per se struggle with a whole lot because we've learned to roll. Hello, Carol. That's okay that you forgot to say hello. I'm glad you're joining again. I don't struggle a whole lot because I have learned to adapt to what comes my way. But that is a result of going through what I did with my surgery and my life-saving surgery and my healing process. Before, I'd struggle with finances. I'd struggle with fear of my family being injured or hurt in some way, and just the care of my family. I'd worry about all kinds of things. And it was such a waste of my precious time and energy. But I was always a worrier, and God brings us through things, and he changes us to his liking the more we enable him to work us and mold us. You know, he is the potter and we are the clay. And when we learn to release control, that's the key thing. I was always I don't want to say control freak, but I was control over me. I didn't relinquish myself fully to God's hands, and put my full faith and trust in him. And when I changed that and did that, wow, did my world change. But and this is one of the things I do struggle with. Being in big crowds is really funny, but we all, my whole family, we are introverted extroverts. I've shared that before. We love spending time with people, but groups, when we go out and there's a ton of people, it's just like so overwhelming and overpowering. And it was that way before. You know, you have 15 conversations going on and you can't focus on one of them. You're hearing them all. That was before. And now it's more because we don't leave the homestead enough that when we do entertain or even get out, we've got to like warm up into it. It's really funny. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we are introverted extroverts. So our lifestyle fits us very well, that we are here most of the time. And when we do get out, it is refreshing. It is nice, but it's also good to come back home and just to be in our quiet. It's called building a lifestyle for yourself that suits and fits you, and not being molded to society, which is part of why we are here and what we are doing. We want to live life by our terms. But that is something I guess that we do struggle with. But other than that, we've allowed God to really, sorry about that. I don't know how much I was gone, but a call came through. Okay, sounds good, Chad. But I want to read a couple things to you guys, and I really would love your feedback here. I would love to know, what you're dealing with, how you are. But I want to read these things to you. I thought they were pretty awesome. Okay. How many of you struggle with fully giving things to God? You know, like totally giving them over and feeling confident and comfortable that he's got it, and not, once you pray and you give that to God, that you're totally good, that he's got it, and you move on and you don't think about it. How many of you can do that? It's a chore. It's a task and something that needs to be created as in my mind, as a habit, and something that, a learned process. How's that? Take a sip of coffee here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So I'm going to read this. This is Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? Some of the world's greatest people faced the world's greatest challenges, but they overcame them. Cripple a man and you have Sir Walter Scott. Lock him in prison and you have John Bunyan. Raise him in abject poverty and you have Abraham Lincoln. Subject him to bitter religious prejudice and you will have Benjamin Disraeli. Strike him down with paralysis and you will have Franklin Roosevelt. Have them born black in the society filled with racial discrimination and you have Booker T. Washington, Harriet Tubman, Marian Anderson, and George Washington Carver. Make a man the first child to survive a poor Italian family of 18 and you have Enrico Caruso. Have him born to parents who survived a Nazi concentration camp. Paralyze him from the waist down when he's age 4, and you have the incomparable violinist, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Itzhak Perlman. Call a man a slow learner, mentally challenged, and write him off as an uneducatable, and you have Albert Einstein. Helen Keller was born blind and deaf, yet she graduated college with highest honors and impacted the world. Margaret Thatcher, England's first woman prime minister, lived upstairs over her father's grocery store. For a while, her childhood home had no running water and no indoor plumbing. Golda Meir, Israel's first and only woman prime minister, was a divorced grandmother from Milwaukee. What do these people teach us? Tenacity. That success doesn't depend on our circumstances, but on overcoming our circumstances. And with God on our side, we can do it. Paul, one of the world's greatest overcomers, wrote, "If God be for us, who can be against us?" Success doesn't depend on our circumstances. And, you know, you guys have watched us overcome a lot. And that really does build character in a person. It really does build strength in a person. But it also builds a tremendous relationship with Jesus. And I value that so much. And I can't walk around anymore after what I've experienced and be afraid to speak my faith and the truth that I find in it. So that's why I do what I do here with you guys. Here's another one that I think will empower you guys. 2 Corinthians, I think this is. It might be, their abbreviation is funny. I think it's 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you. We need to look that up then, though. But this is really good. There are 2 kinds of grace. One, saving grace. The moment you place your trust in Christ, God expunges the entire record of your sin. So although we may not feel good about ourselves and we may not feel worthy of his love, he washes us clean. And we need to realize that and understand that and know that he views us and loves us in such a tremendous way. So we need to accept that saving grace. 2 is sustaining grace. Paul writes, "I was given a thorn in my flesh. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Such a vivid imagery. A thorn pierces the soft skin and lodges beneath the surface. Every step is a reminder of it. The child in the rehab center, the red ink on the ledger, the felony on the record, the craving for alcohol in the middle of the day, the tears in the middle of the night. Lord, take it away. But what you hear is this: my grace is sufficient for you. Sustaining grace promises us not the absence of struggle, but the strengthening presence of God. John Newton, the Anglican clergyman who wrote Amazing Grace, found that God's grace was sufficient. On the day his beloved wife Mary died, he found the strength to preach a Sunday sermon. The next day he visited church members and later on officiated at her funeral. Looking back, he wrote, "The Bank of England is too poor to compensate for such a loss as mine, but the Lord, all-sufficient God, speaks, and it is done. Let those who know him and trust him be of good courage. He can give them strength according to their day. He can increase their strength as their trials increase. And what he can do, he has promised he will do." So sustaining grace, guys, is having to walk out those hard times and knowing that he is there. And he is. He will never leave us, and he will never forsake us. And I know so many people are going through tough times right now. And it has been a tough year. And, you know, it's crazy. This year was probably, it was one of the toughest in our country for a long time. But we didn't feel the weights of that struggle. And yes, we were busy. But it wasn't our busyness that kept us from feeling the weights of that struggle. It's the promises that God gives us that kept us from feeling the weights of that struggle. And not worrying over the chaos. And it is definitely a practice thing to get to this place. But the more you have a relationship with God, and the deeper that relationship comes, the more peace and comfort you find through the storm. Plus, it builds strength and character in us that helps us to overcome our fears and our worries and the things that give us the greatest struggles in life. And that's what is important, is that relationship. That's what it's about, is that relationship. You know, it took me so many years to understand and to get to this place but to understand what it really meant to be a Christian and to be a lover of Jesus. You know, it's not about reading a daily devotional. It's not about communing with other believers. It's not about what he promises. It's the relationship. It boils down to that deep relationship. And feeling that, even though you can't see him, you can't always hear him. But as you can see in my life, he presents himself in so many ways, in my opinion. You know, the heart on the ground, the beauty out my windows, my husband, my son, my view, the eagles outside. I'm meat rich. You know, those are all blessings that he bestows. And so much more. You guys, you know, you guys and my time with you is so renewing and just amazing. And I am so eternally grateful that I have been put in this place and am being used in this way, because when I fellowship with you guys, I get renewal and I find a great and amazing peace and comfort in being able to share myself, but also you guys sharing back with me and communicating with me. I am not sure if you guys are, here we go. We've got some messaging. Herbert says, I am from New Mexico, Jamez Pueblo. Hope you folks are doing well and staying warm in God's country. We are, and I hope you are as well down there. I imagine, what are your temperatures down there, Herbert? I'm so glad to have new people joining all the time and from all over the place. Carol's from the UK, and we've had people from Ireland and Germany joining us, and just have people all over. It's just, I love it. I love it. It just tickles me. I got to get I have a little map, and I need to start putting little pins where everybody's located. So I'm hoping that what I've shared today has resonated with you guys and gives you some sort of comfort. You know, I get, It's kind of funny. The mountain man and I go back and forth about James. I want to share this with you. But God's grace is sufficient. We got to remember that. But ooh, I thought the tripod was going. One of the things I really get empowered by God. Oh, Carol, that's not a that does not sound stupid at all. Oh, nice. Herbert has 60 degrees. We are like in the 20s, so that's really awesome. Carol, there is never, okay, for everybody, there is never anything stupid being said, shared, or asked on here, ever. I am a true believer that the only way you gain knowledge is by asking. And sometimes the questions may seem foolish, but that's how you learn. And so I don't view any of that as ever stupid or foolish or crazy or anything. Put it out there because that's how we learn from each other. Plus, the other cool thing is oftentimes other people have different ways of doing it. So there's multiple ways of learning something. So never be afraid to ask a question. And the book I am reading from is actually, it's The Word for You. And I think if you go to trayerwilderness.com/thewordforyou, you'll find a link to that. I know I made a link for it. There is an app, and the way I found them is our church was getting their printed devotional, and I would get a copy every month, or not every month. They do like a quarterly, so it's 3 months in each book, and you can request them to mail that to you. I think the app was 99 cents, but it was so worth it to me. But it's just amazing to me, no matter what devotional I dive into, it always pertains. One of the other ones, Carol, that I really like is Jesus Calling. And you can go to trayerwilderness.com/Jesus Calling. That is the one I read by the fire the other night. That one I was gifted that by Mountain Ben's mom. And it is such a tremendous book. I've used it for like 4 or 5 years, and it's just crazy how it always pertains to what I'm got going on. No worries, Toyka. You've been on with me for a lot today. I hope you have a blessed day. It was good to have you on here again. God bless you. Carol says, I think our Bibles and yours are different. I don't really read it, but absolutely love hearing you read and explain. Something else you guys need to check out is Bible.com. And I don't know if I have a link for that one or not. But, and I also, the physical study Bible that I use, there is a link for that down below. I use that all the time. But I also use Bible.com all the time. So to go into that, the study Bible you can find by going to trayerwilderness.com/study Bible. The link is down below. I saw that when I was putting things in there. Great Bible. It's the NIV version. And I struggle with the King James Version. I've shared that a lot. The these and the thous just mess with my head. I have my grandfather's study Bible. I love having it. I love that traditional word in there. But I get lost in it, and I have to reread and reread and reread, and that drives me crazy because I want to know. So I use Bible.com because Bible.com you can change the version, and you can find a version that works good for you. On Bible.com, I use the NLT version, or the NIV, or the HCSB version. If you're into like New Age version of the Bible, you can use the Message. But to me, the authenticity or the traditional part of it is lost. I do go there sometimes just for kicks and giggles because of how they read it. Like, what's his name? I can picture him with his dreadlocks. Todd White. Todd White always explains the Message Bible as in like, dude, God went to, because that's how it's written. It's really kind of funny. But it resonates to some people, and that's what's important. But it's fun to read sometimes, but it doesn't have verse by verse. It bunches them together. So I do like being able to meditate on the Bible verses. So I do like the other versions. So NLT, NIV, HCSB have been really good versions for me. But when you go to Bible.com, you can actually change the version. So when you're on, and join Bible.com, it's free, and look for Tammy Trayer and add me as a friend. I love being able to see what other people are learning. Chad and I are connected. I don't know if Tammy and I are connected on there or not. But I've got a bunch of friends that are connected with me on there. As a matter of fact, this morning one of my friends posted a picture and a Bible verse that resonated with her today, and I was chatting with her through there. So, and there's also devotionals, many different kinds of devotionals you can go through on there. So check that out. The app is nice. I have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad. When I am out in the woods and I'm writing and I need to find reference to something, or I want to look something up, or I'm out in God's country. You can see what my countryside looks like out here. I will go find a stump, or I will pack my hammock, which is about this big, out with me, and I'll hang up between two trees and just sit there and read. God's word is powerful if you understand it, and it's a matter of seeking a version that really resonates with you. The other thing you can do is, before you dive in, pray that God helps you to understand what you're reading. He does that, and he also directs us to what we need when we need it. Oftentimes I will just open my Bible and say, show me what I need to read today, and I'll just let it open. It's pretty amazing how it pertains. And sometimes I will admit that I'll read things and I think, it doesn't really, I'm not sure why you directed me to that. And a day or two later, it's like light bulb, because now it does. So Bible.com is a great resource. You can find Bibles in thrift stores all the time, eBay. I bought the study Bible. We invested in those. I think that was like $65, but that was something we invested in when we sold the house, because we both wanted good study Bibles that we could really delve into and really spend time in, and something that we understood. Let me see here. Tammy says, I found Jesus Calling at a thrift store. It was wonderful. Isn't that awesome? I love that. Being able to find them like that and pay next to nothing for them and be able to benefit. Herbert said, I'm also born a Christian Catholic and also a true believer. Well, welcome, and that is so awesome. Life is so much better and more amazing when we have a relationship with Christ. So I'm excited to hear that, Herbert. Absolutely, Carol. And never hesitate. Always ask. Always ask. There's never a stupid question. I always told my son that. There is never a stupid question. When you ask a question, whoa, my tripod is on its last leg, literally. The old boy broke one of the things off, so I can't extend it all the way, and the other one, and then it's, it's 3 legs. It's 3 legs, and he broke one of them off, so that one gets a wild hair, and the whole thing goes and collapse. If we aren't, we soon will be. Are you talking about Bible.com, Tammy? I jump around so much, and then when I see the comments, I don't always, my little P doesn't figure out what it goes with. I'm British. I'm bound to ask something stupid. No. Never, ever. Never, ever. Okay. Yes, Bible.com is amazing. I absolutely love it. The other cool thing is you can do devotionals with other members. I've done that already. So, matter of fact, I did one with Kelly. So, a lot of fun to be in there. The one thing I don't like about the Bible app when I'm out in the woods is that I can't search if I'm looking for something. That's another reason I like the app and Bible.com, is because oftentimes I know a verse, but I don't know where it's at. I'm learning. I watch Phil Robertson, and it amazes me how the family there just knows the Bible in and out. And and trust me, as you start reading it and really delving in and really understanding it, you will too. I can now reference so much more than I could ever. And but there are still verses I know, but I can't remember where they're located. So being able to search, also being able to search for love or prosperity or something like that, you can find all the references to it and kind of go through it. So when I'm writing, it's very helpful. I did start to, I wanted to share something with you about, I started going into James in regard to persevering. It's not that I look for troubles to come my way, but when they do, I'm not discouraged by the trouble. I'm encouraged by it because I know God's going to teach me something. And I know that as I walk through it, it will be another plate on my armor to help me to be more courageous, to just be stronger in Him. So that's when I read James 1, I think it's like 2 through 4 here. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Well, right there, the mountain man's like, how in the world do you find great joy in adversity? I don't even want to, experience that. Where I totally get that. I totally get that. And it's just funny, difference in perspective. And that's perfectly okay. But this one, just because of what I've experienced, I hear this and I'm like, yeah. But dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So it's just a really awesome, to me, it's just very empowering. I can look back and see how God has tested me and how I've grown and where I've come from and how adversity creates our character. It really, really does. And we can either read this verse and be empowered, or we can be the complete opposite and discouraged by it. I want to grow in Him. I don't know that I ever want to be complete though, because I love how he is molding me. I love what He is creating. I'm proud of who I am because of allowing Him to create this. I've overcome a lot of things. I've walked away from a lot of things. In another video a while back, I shared, I used to curse like a sailor, and I'm repulsed by it now. God molds us and creates us and builds us and grows us to the person He wants us to be, the perfect person, the likeness of Him. So when we are allowing ourselves to be molded and we view things in a positive fashion rather than a negative fashion, there can be a lot of growth in that. So I saw Carol said something. She says, I came to North Carolina once, a place called Dunn. My friends took me to Presbyterian church. I think that's how you spell it. It's close. And I thought I was at a soft rock concert. It's definitely not like ours. Yeah, is yours more traditional where you sing the hymns and it's very low key? Because we are part of a Nazarene church. And we also watch Phil Robertson's family's church down there in Louisiana, WFR Church online. And I like watching Todd White. I like expanding my reach. Lifeline Church is another one we watch. But our church, the Nazarene Church, actually has a band. It's not like hardcore like they're playing Skillet, which is Christian rock, or Flyleaf. But they definitely play the modern Christian music. And I love that. I'm like dancing in my pew most of the time. It's great. I love that. I love music. I love all kinds of music. Like my music reach is very broad. Like I said about Skillet and Flyleaf, I can listen to that, but I got to be in the mood. And I enjoy listening to all different kinds of, bluegrass, and I don't know. It just depends on my mood. And then I like listening to stuff that doesn't have any words, just like outdoor nature type sounds. I listen to all kinds of stuff, but that's funny. I totally get what you're saying. When you go to different churches, it's definitely a different experience. And it's just like with anything else in life. those environments will resonate with some where it will not resonate with others. Like there's a lot of people like would have been my grandparents' age who would have frowned upon that because it was just not, how they were brought up. But that's what makes it neat is there's all kinds of different environments to put ourselves into, to feel God's grace and love and to be touched by his word, the sermons, the music. So we got to find what works for us. But that's funny. Was that your only time in the States, Carol, or have you been in the States before? Yep, cold floors, drafty churches. Okay. Part of me wanted to, I still may. I want to Google Earth and see where you're at and see the area. Are you in a place like I picture lighthouses, cliffs, little villages? It just sounded very quaint. I don't get to travel, but I travel and live through other people as where they are. And I don't know about you guys, when I get on my laptop, Google or Microsoft nicely shares these pictures from all over the place. That's how I travel. I just get taken in by the scenery. I spent 6 weeks and Christmas there. Okay. Well, you're in a good spot. That time of year, that was probably nice because it wasn't very cold. And it's beautiful countryside. Yes, I'm in Brixton, South Devon, UK. Have a look. Well, when you shared about the fishermen and you shared your location, I was very intrigued by the location and the way you described the area, not by the scenario. But continuing to pray for your community, though, and for the families. That's just tough stuff. Speaking of prayers, if you guys have prayer requests or praises, please, please, please leave them down below. I love to read them. I don't always get a chance to respond to everything. I'm trying really hard. Being the only one that does the electronic stuff, the mountain man and electronics don't get along. So I'm the one that does all the videos. I've been really thankful for the live abilities because had I had to edit all these videos and upload them during this time, it just wouldn't have happened. But I do have a lot of footage I want to put together and get out there. But I don't always get to comment on everything that's shared. But please leave them. We all have so much to be thankful for. And the more we share those things that we're thankful for, just life changes. You look at life in such a different way. The other thing is if you have questions or comments or anything, please don't hesitate to leave them. I just saw... Okay, no worries, Tammy. Have fun. Headed to the farm for a bit. God bless everyone. God bless you too. Good luck at the farm. It's really cool. She's going to need to share a link for the farm that she is working with. It does a lot with vets and veterans and helps them with PTSD and just coping and has a lot of animals and different events and different things there. And she and her family donate their time there. So it's really awesome. It's really cool. Carol says they weren't impressed when I cooked the turkey in the oven with Yorkshire pudding. Lol. Okay, explain that now because I don't know what Yorkshire pudding is. Oh, and you're talking in North Carolina. So it was a very big cultural. Okay, share though. What is it, please? Ah, the tripod's going as I just kiss the camera. I love learning from you guys too. That's really cool. Like you said earlier in the video about in my video earlier today about the meats when I was talking about how to cook things. I'm not from, I've heard of it before, but I don't know what it is. So you have to share. Herbert says, Tammy, I need to turn my volume down because I got my grandson Kumad doing his Kaimand. So I'm pronouncing it right. Give me a thumbs up on that. But Kaiman, hello. I'm happy to meet you, and I'm glad you're on here. And good luck with your schooling. Learn lots, because the more you learn, the better life is. You can do all kinds of things. Anything you set your mind to. Okay. Tammy says the Rocking Tree Farm in Helena, Montana. They have a Facebook page and a web page. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Carol says they boil theirs in oil in a big thing in the garden. Oh, yes. Got gosh, I just went blank on what that's called, but deep frying, um, frying the turkey. I cook mine in, well, I usually do it in the oven, but we actually boiled it on the stove this year, all the turkey legs. Okay, yes. So yes, a lot of people do that. I've never actually had it that way. We've always roasted it in an oven and baked it in the oven. Um, but I have learned to bake my turkey in the oven with the breast meat down, and I bake it for a long period of time on low heat, and it gets just absolutely amazing. But this year my oven was a little different because I'm working with the wood cook stove, and it wasn't as tender as I would have liked it to be. So we put it on the stove in the boiling water like I had suggested with the neck roast earlier today, and just boil it low and slow. So I had it the night before on, and then that whole next day, and it just gets amazing. I love wild game meat. And Herbert, thanks for sharing that. That is really cool. I'm sorry if I'm talking too loud for his schooling, but that's really awesome. I'm so glad to have the kids joining. You guys with the kids, stay tuned because I am going to do a book reading for the kids. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, if I'm going to do it on here or if I'm going to read it, pre-record it and put it out there. I haven't quite decided yet. I'd really like to be interactive with the kids, so I'm not sure yet. But stay tuned because the book is really awesome, and I would love the kids to be involved. And they could be part of their schooling because it's a really, really good book and really educational, in my opinion. So anyway, I believe I am going to jump off of here and let you guys get back to your day. But thank you guys for blessing me. This was so awesome. And for those of you watching the replay, please share how you are and what are things that are a struggle to you right now, because I hate to see anybody struggling. And a lot of times there's people in this world that are alone and don't have anybody to encourage them, uplift them in any way. And if I can be that, it is touches my heart. But also because we can share as a community how we've overcome things and how we may be struggling. It just gives people perspective and also comfort to know that they're not alone. So don't hesitate to share that. Carol says, I will send a picture of the Yorkshire pudding in our churches. Oh, that would be so awesome. That would be so awesome. I tracked the mountain man down when we were dating in Wyoming and spent a week out there. And I love the old, like out west here, to see the old wood clapboard churches and in the middle of the open ground. It was just amazing. I love that. I love old. I don't know. We always said we were born 100 years too late. So I would love to see that. But stay tuned with the kids. I will announce that soon. I need to get the Bible study live. The kids thing is next because I think it'll be so much fun. And I want them to be interactive. I would love for them to ask questions or share, comment. And if I pre-record it, they will be able to comment, but it won't be as interactive. So we'll see. Give your thoughts on that. If you think they would benefit better being interactive, because I don't know what it's like on the other side of this. So let me know. Give me your feedback. But leave your prayers. Please pray for Pat Kenny, my dear friend. I'm not sure if he's back home yet, but he's been in Seattle with a terrible infection and has just been battling a lot of health issues this year. So please pray for him. Please pray for Mona and Ken. Ken broke his hip back at the beginning of November, end of October, beginning of November. And he's had immediate surgery, hip replacement, but he wasn't doing well. They needed to put him into a rehab. He was in there for a minimum of 20 days and he wasn't doing well, so they are looking for a place for him to stay as a full-time thing, and that's a lot to handle for both of them. And with this COVID thing, it just aggravates me to no end. There is nothing more life altering, in my opinion, than not to be able to be with your loved ones. Mona has not seen Ken since November 4th, which is an absolute crime. Positivity and loving people surrounding us is what helps us heal. So I'm just so disappointed. I understand with the COVID, but there's got to be ways, if they're going to do this and set up some kind of Zoom or something that these people can communicate with their families. That's just terrible. So pray for them. Mona could use prayers also, just for strength and healing of her own, and just coping with everything that's going on, handling it. So also pray for Tammy's mom. Her mom was in the hospital with some kidney struggles, so please pray for her and pray for Tammy and the family. Pray for Shelly and her family, and Diana and her family. And Kelly and Courtney couldn't be on today. Pray for them as well. And I know I'm forgetting somebody. That always drives me crazy because I try to remember everybody, and then as soon as I end, I'm like, oh, I forgot. So do know that I have a prayer journal, and I want to encourage you guys to get a journal. I made a cover for mine, but it's just a simple Amazon black journal that gets used and abused, and I write in it every day, but it's just a simple lined journal. You can get plain paper journals like this, but get a journal, and I might be making covers in the future so that you can get a cover for it. I'm going to be doing a lot of leather work upcoming. I just am not set up to do it right now. But get yourself a journal. Write in your favorite verses, do devotionals in there, record your days, record your gratitude every day in your journal, and it'll give you something to look back on, but also really build in your relationship too with God, because I use it to like, good morning, God, thank you, kind of thing. And also record our happenings. So journals are good to have. I want to encourage that for the new year. We're going to do a lot of awesome stuff in the new year. I'm very excited. Herbert says, I got to check out now. May you have a blessed day. God bless you and your family. God bless you too, Herbert. And thank you so much for joining. And God bless Kymond, Mora also. And thanks for joining. It was so nice to have you. And Carol says, we have Adam's Memorial on Saturday at 6:14 p.m. The whole town's going to surround the quay and lifeboat station. Oh, we will be praying. That's so sad. So sad. Is Adam the one that they did not find the body for, or was he the one that they did find it in the sleeping area? That's just so sad. We will be praying. My heart goes out to you guys, and I'm definitely going to check things out. And I love when people share things with me, with the pictures of your churches and different things. That's just really cool to me. It's kind of like an online pen pal, if you will. I really enjoy that. So. No, Rob's the one they haven't found yet. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Well, we will be praying for everybody. Let them all know that they have a lot of prayer warriors lifting them, and you as well. So, guys, I'm going to say a prayer, because the last live I did not, when I did my weekly live, I ended it, and I'm like, I didn't say a prayer. So I'm going to say a prayer quick. Papa, I just thank you for this beautiful, beautiful day. I thank you for how you touch each of our lives and each of our days. And I ask that you just reach out and just love on everyone that's watched this. Give them strength and courage to get through their days if they are struggling. If they are enjoying their life, just allow them to spread their joy and their simple pleasures with others and touch other lives, because there's so many hurting out there. And I just thank you for all that you bring to this community with all the new people and the prayers and the miracles answered and prayers answered, and just your love, mercy, and grace that you offer. And just thank you for the amazing grace that you do give us, both in sustaining us and just blessing us with full removal of our sins. And I just ask that you be with everyone this week. love on them, help them through their days, let them see your hand in in everything that's going on in their lives, and just keep them safe. And just thank you for enabling us to do what we do so that we can spread the word of you and touch more lives. And just be with all those in need. Be with Mona and Ken, and be with Pat, and be with Adam's family and Rob's family, and just be with the community and Carol, and be with Tammy and her mom, and Kelly and Courtney and Mike, and be with Diana and Craig and Shelly and Jim and their family. And just thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for the abundant blessings you just continue to bestow on my family, and just how you are so visible in our lives. Thank you for this beautiful cabin and this beautiful place and my family. I have so much to be grateful for and so much to be thankful for, and I want to share that with others so that they see all the blessings in their lives too. That they don't have the tunnel vision and stuck in a negative place, that they can see how you are in everything. And I just thank you for what you're going to do in our lives and everyone else's. And we ask all this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for renewing my day, spending time with me, and just know that you are loved, know that you are prayed for, and look so very forward to spending time with you again. I will join you guys tomorrow because I'm hoping we have solar power, and want to share that setup with you in detail. And we'll continue to do our day today. And stay tuned. I'm going to continue to do our weekly live. I'm going to get back into that now that things have settled down a little bit. And it'll be so much easier when I have the power in the house and we aren't dealing and contending with the cold and everything dying out because of the batteries. Also, check out our Bible study book club. I would love to have you guys join me. That is a very private area, and we will be able to really delve into a lot of great materials this coming year. And you can find that by going to trayerwilderness.com/Bible study book club. So you guys have an awesome day. I love you all. You're very welcome, Carol. She says, thank you all. Prayers and love for anyone that needs it. That's so awesome. Thank you. You're a real light. I'm really thankful that you found us. And Herbert, I'm really glad you found us too. Thank you. Amen. And you guys take care. Have a very blessed rest of your day and week. And love you all.